Hope you guys are doing well. I'm Yolandi, Maraika and yes, mom from Homeschool with Liam. So today I'm going to have a little chat with you guys about why are we homeschooling, the reasons of why we've come to the decision of doing it, and hopefully our journey will be able to clear up a couple of your questions or your doubts if you are deciding to homeschool. Okay, so our journey happened or started about 3 years ago. Okay, so we used to live in South Africa and kids used to go to school. Me and hubby both had to work because that's the norm over there, and due to some circumstances there for the safety and security, we decided to leave South Africa. Now hubby is from India, so we decided, okay, well, let's move to India. We still got family this side as well, and let's see how it goes. So moving from one country to the other, we've given the kids like about a year gap just to adapt to the environment and that, because us as adults, we adapt a lot faster. We get used to the environment a lot faster. Now with kids, they take a bit of a time, and so we just thought, you know what, we need to give them their space, we need to give them a chance to actually adapt and feel comfortable in their environment that they're living in. So when we moved to India about 3 years ago, we first lived in Dehradun for about 6 or 7 months. We moved to Hyderabad for about 2 months, and now we've settled down in Bangalore for the last 2.5 years. So for the first 6 months, we gave the kids another, because moving from one state to the other, we decided, okay, well, we give the kids another couple of months just for them to adapt. And during that time, we love to read. So generally we did a lot of reading, we did a lot of playing with educational toys, some writing that we practiced. So we still did some work, but we didn't do full on schoolwork. And during that time, when the 6 months were getting to a close, we said, well, we have to start looking at schools now, because we're still in the mindset of kids need to go to school. So we started looking at the different schools that's around here by us in Bangalore, and there's quite a few reasons of why we decided to rather homeschool than to send our kids to a school. So the schools in India is good. Don't get me wrong, it's not the reason why we decided to homeschool. It is just, for us being foreigners, we see it at a whole different level. So for us, there's a few pointers that we looked at that we said, no, it's not going to work. The kids are going to be uncomfortable, the kids are going to battle, and it's not fair from our side to put that extra tension on them. Already living in a different country with different people and things like that, we didn't want to put them through any of that. So we looked at the schools. The first thing that came up was the language. English is not a first language in India. Like here in Bangalore, they speak Karnataka, and there's like every state has got its own language basically. So speaking a different language for us already, because we don't speak it, we don't understand it, and we can't even, like writing it, it's like a whole lot of curly cursive writing type of thing. So we decided, no, language is going to be an issue, and even when the people living in India speak to you, they've got an accent, okay? It's not their fault. English is not their first language. So when they speak to you, they've got this heavy accent. Some of them has got a super strong accent where you can hardly understand the English, and other people has got a very light accent, so you can understand, you can have a full-on conversation with them without getting lost halfway through. Now, when we looked at all the different schools, that is one thing that we found with all the staff from the schools. Okay, they all speak with an accent, and it is not fair on us once again to let the kids sit in a classroom full of kids, and when they lose one or two words during the lesson that is being put across for them, they would fall behind because they won't understand the work, and you can't expect them to keep on putting up their hands saying, miss, I don't understand you, please repeat yourself. So that would have been an issue as well. And also language, meaning the fact that you have to take the local language as a subject in class. And we're not going to use it. It's not going to be any. It's not really going to be any benefit for us. So we decided, it's going to be an issue. Hubby does speak and understand Hindi, but Hindi in Karnataka is also, it's very different. The dialect there's a vast difference between all the different dialects. So we said, okay, well, language is one thing, that's going to be a bit of a problem, but let's see if there's anything else that we can look at that we can start doing the, schooling thing. Then we looked at different types of schools. You've got international school, you've got private school, you've got government school, you've got all these different types of boards, like boards as well that they do. They've got international boards, they've got standard boards, they've got this board and that board. I think there's about 5 or 6 different boards that is available in India with the different schools as well. So we're like, okay, well, now where do we start? Because we've got board A, B and C, and which one will we do? And this one has got things that we don't do or we don't use and things like that. So that also kind of put, okay, well, another thing, like, the different boards. But then we also looked at, okay, well, now we're looking at international schools because they follow a board that is quite similar to what we are used to doing. Schools, they are expensive, okay, especially here in Bangalore. International and private schools are expensive. For the amount of money that they ask for you to be in that school, we just don't find it, like, why? We just don't feel that it's viable. Like, why are you charging such a huge amount of money that my child will be getting exact same, like content that they're learning from a normal government school or a public school or whatever. So we just said, okay, well, that's the third thing, cost-wise. We would rather take that money and put it aside for them, and then they can use it when they go to varsity or, do anything with the money after they turn a certain age. And yeah, so that just we like, no, wait, this is not gonna work. Then also the schools majority of the schools, they serve lunches at school. Most of the food they serve is vegetarian. It's got lots of spices and chilies in it. Okay. The reason for them serving vegetarian meals is because it is more hygienic than serving meats, and it's understandable. And also majority of people living in India are vegetarian, so it is being respectful towards them as well. Now, Leon Malika doesn't eat any spicy food or any chilies and things in their food, so that also would not have worked when you can't send them to school, and it would be seen as a disrespect for something that's being served for you if you don't take it. And we're like, okay, well, that's also not going to work. And our kids aren't really kids to be sitting in a classroom with like 30 plus pupils around them, and you all have to sit down quietly and you have to listen intently to the teacher. So we decided, okay, I'm at home, I'm not working, hubby has got a full-time job, so let's have a look and see. And we decided we'll look into the whole homeschooling thing. With the homeschooling, the kids are free. They can, it's not like they just do whatever they want, they've got routines. But it's not where they have to sit and do, like, say if it's now math session, they have to sit and do maths. If they're not in the mood to do maths now, we don't do it, we do something else that they are interested in at this point in time, and then we do the maths later on. So they have a lot more freedom. They've got a freedom of expression because they're allowed to express what they feel, what they think, which in schools you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to have any expressions in school. You're not allowed to ask too many questions in school because then it is being seen as you kind of, like, what are you trying to do here? So our schooling, we've got where we start about between 9 and 10 in the mornings, depends on what time we actually get settled for school. We finish between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. Sometimes we finish by 12 o'clock. It all just depends on the type of work that is for the day and how the kids feel for doing their work. So we don't follow a strict curriculum either. We mix and match between Cambridge and Oxford, and there's loads of information on the internet for homeschooling work, like for worksheets and things like that. So I pull a lot of those things off the internet for them to do as extra work. So yeah, then Mareike, she's got her basic subjects of like English, maths. English is just basically reading. She's reading Think and Grow Rich and The Secret, which is I think called The Magic at the moment, and she's got another 2 books that she's going to start with. She's reading these books for her knowledge. It also makes you think at a whole different level, so it's not like she's forced to read it. She enjoys reading it. She's got her fairy tale books, like any girl, she's got her fairy tale books. But for her learning sessions, she's reading all these type of books. And it just, like I said, just makes you think at a whole different level, and it just gets your mind going and thinking, but why? And that's when all the questions start to come out. Okay, she's also got science and maths that she does, and biology, because she wants to be a neurosurgeon when she grows up. And those subjects are important to understand and to know when you do go into being a doctor. So we just already preparing, not like, I won't say we're preparing her for it, but because it's an interest for her, we decided that, you know what, we would rather teach them something that they were interested in than something that they're like, oh, I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. We don't want that. So she's interested in that, and that is how she's doing her work. She's also got a 3rd language, Dutch, that she's busy learning, as well as Liam, he's learning Dutch with his sister. And then she plays guitar as well. She does guitar with music sessions, so that's what she's got. That's her day. And with Liam, he does his reading also, and we do some writing with him, and we do a little bit of maths with him. So with him, it is all just like going slow, which is another thing. If your kid goes to school, they are pressurized to go, and not all kids are set to just go. Some kids can go super fast through something and they come out top-wise, and some kids take more time. And it's not that there's anything wrong with them, they just take their time. And that is another thing that is great with this homeschooling, is the fact that they can take their time in learning something. They are not pressurized and forced to be able to do a chapter in a day, and you know, you have to understand it and you have to know it, and tomorrow you're writing a test about it, and then you being compared to all the other kids in the classroom and all those type of things. So they learn at their own pace. Okay, each child is different, they learn at their own pace. So that is there as well. And then also, like, people will be asking also, like, and they do ask me a lot, how do you guys socialize? Like, you know, you have to socialize, your kids have to be, you know, be with other kids and they have to play. And yes, we socialize a lot. When we're busy with our work for the day, the kids do a lot of talking. Sometimes we end up talking about one subject for the entire morning, and then we're like, okay, well, we're done for the day now, we're tired, we've done a whole morning about just say biology, and we've learned so much already, so it's fine, we'll take a break for the other things, we'll do the other things tomorrow instead of, you know, today. So we tend to do things like that as well. So there's a lot of socializing. Whenever they play, they always play together, and there's a lot of talking going on in that session over there as well. There's lots of family discussions that we have. We play games together, like the board games and things like that. We play card games together. So there's always interaction and there's always communication between a lot of us. You'll always get questions also like, you know, but how will they get their their certificates, their passing certificates? You know, you passed high school, you need a certificate to be able to get to varsity. And we found that majority of varsities these days, they don't really look at what is your actual scorings, but they look at the knowledge of what you got to get into the classes. And so that's also one thing there, is that I'm not scoring both Mareike and Liam. I do test them on their knowledge. I don't test them on, okay, well, how much are you going to get for this test? If I see that the scores is low, we go back to the worker where they battled. We re-go through them. We look at them again. We sit and discuss it again, and then again after a day or so, I test the knowledge again, and that is when I say, okay, well, you've either really understand the work well and you can carry on, or you're still battling with a thing here and there, so let's have a look again and see. So we don't do actual scoring with them, we do testing of knowledge. Okay. Then people will say, but you're in the house, you know, you watch a lot of TV. They've got screen time, they've got time to watch TV. During the week, they only watch educational programs like your Discovery. They watch, there's a couple of guys on YouTube where they either go around with insects, they go in the jungles and things and look at insects and animals. There's a couple of them where they teach kids, like, for them, they've got a big thing about space and the human body lately. So they watch programs about that where it's specifically for kids of, let's go into space, or let's go into your stomach and see how the stomach acids work and things like that. So for them, that is interesting. So that is what they watch during the week. And they've got a set time, about an hour, hour and a half max every day. That is their screen time for the day. They are not allowed to watch anything else during the week. Saturdays and Sundays, they can watch a movie or whatever, but once again, their screen times are limited. They don't watch the whole day. So that's their one thing. I drink a lot of coffee when I'm busy with it, need energy. So screen timing is, there's minimal screen timing. I don't allow them to sit and watch TV the whole day. Yes, we play music majority of the day because they love music and they love singing and dancing. So we do listen to music a lot. Then you also get questions like, but activities, like, do they actually just, like, do they do sports and things like that? They aren't much into sports at this point in time, so for them they do activities like they go cycling or we go running, they play with their ball. If it's not too windy, which has been for the last couple of weeks, they play badminton, or when I'm busy training in the house, they will come and train with me, like doing squats or like sit-ups and push-ups and those type of things. So they are active during the day as well. They don't just sit behind books, or they don't just sit and play on the floor the whole day. They've got their timings for everything. Like for mornings, they go and they do their work. You take a break. We either go for a walk or they play a little bit around. They run around, come back, have a lunch. They sit and play a little bit. We go downstairs again. So they are constantly active. They are constantly going back and forth, and they've got a lot of energy. Especially Liam, he is like on the go from the morning. He gets up at night and he goes to sleep. So he is constantly on the go. So he needs to be busy all the time. We need like busy activities for him to get exhausted. So those are basically the reasons and the decisions that we've made and how we are homeschooling. So if you do decide to homeschool, don't be influenced, don't get pressurized, do it because you want to. And also I did a bit of teaching and helping out at kindergarten before we left South Africa, and I just found that I really kind of enjoy the whole thing of interacting with the kids on a different level, not just being a mom, but like on a teacher type of a level. So that's another reason why we've done it. And like I said, don't be pressurized. There's so many people out there that they want to homeschool and they can't, or not just can't, but they don't know where to start. I started with like bare minimum, bare basics of getting them into the whole schooling thing, but it was definitely worth it. Our kids are outspoken, they are confident, and it is something which I haven't seen in them ever until for the last about a year and a half, going almost 2 years now that we've been doing homeschooling. And if it wasn't for the homeschooling thing, they wouldn't have been there. Liam was a shy little boy. He would have been behind me, hiding away. But he's just flourished. He is outspoken, he is confident, and he will speak to anybody. Unless he feels uncomfortable with you, he won't speak to you. But he is not shy anymore, and he generally strikes up a conversation like that, and he only talks about construction vehicles because that's his passion. That's also one thing that he watches. So he can tell you the name of the machine, what it does, if there's any other machines that it needs to work together. you know all the parts about it. He can tell you anything and everything about all types of construction vehicles. And that's generally the discussions that he has with people around him, and he expects everybody to understand him. And sometimes people's got no clue what he's talking about. So yeah, Mareike as well, she also used to be kind of like a shy type of girl. She's also become quite outspoken and confident in carrying herself around. So yeah, and I mean, they flourished, and we are super happy that we've been able to take this huge step in homeschooling them. And we can see the results for ourselves when we look at them, from how they were when they were in school and for how they are at this point in time. Also, not all kids or all parents are made for homeschooling, but if you have been thinking about it and you have been talking about it with your family, with your kids, and you feel that this is the right decision to make, I would say go for it. Take the leap, jump, and do it. I mean, and don't feel that, you know, oh, what, how are my kids going to learn all these things? Take it one day at a time. They will learn at their own pace. You don't have to have a full school in your home. You don't have to have all the subjects that is offered in school at home. Like also one thing also that I don't mention is the kids love to do art, which a lot of kids do. So we do a lot of like type of arts and crafts and things like that. So, you know, sometimes our lesson for the day is just arts and crafts. Sometimes it's just biology. Do what you feel is right, and do what your kids want to do. So hopefully our journey is helping someone out there to make a decision. If you've got any questions or anything, just leave a comment below, and I'll chat to you guys soon again. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get notifications of our videos, of our content that we put up. We put a lot of fun videos and some educational videos and things also to share with other people around the world. So yeah, and those are mainly done with Liam and Mareike. They both have their own passion of what they want to share with you guys. So yeah, definitely, like, you know, check it out, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.